Tonight on Cougar News, the fight against cancer comes to Central Park.
Plus they're small, painful, and bringing men to their knees.
Also, next time you post that party pic on social media, yet another reason to stop and think. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Tiese White.
And I'm Erika Cheever, and here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom.
2 people are dead, including a gunman, following what police are calling a murder-suicide on the UCLA campus this morning. The shooting took place in a small office in one of UCLA's engineering buildings. Earlier today, the incident forced campus officials to lock down the Westwood campus, and LAPD put the city of Los Angeles on tactical alert. Hundreds of law enforcement officials, including the FBI and ATF, as well as firefighters, converged on the campus within moments of the reported shooting. Students and staff on campus sheltered in place, with some having to use personal belts to lock doors from within. Police say a gun was recovered at the scene. Classes are canceled for today, but they are expected to resume tomorrow.
Despite the fact that 7.6 million people die from cancer worldwide every year, no one, especially in Santa Clarita, is ready to give up the fight. Relay for Life, an annual event, is a place that offers love, support, and hope.
Relay for Life helps me because it gives me an arena to fight in, to fight cancer in. And that's my big thing. I fight because my son had cancer, and my sister, and myself, and this is where I can fight and make a difference.
Relay for Life is a place of hope for friends, family, cancer survivors, and warriors. You often hear people saying happy birthday to one another in celebration of another year of survival. Relay for Life is a place of remembrance and celebration.
When I was 11 years old in 6th grade, I was diagnosed with brain cancer, a pure cell germinoma, and when the opening ceremony came around, I heard them talking about their stories and how they survived, and it was very uplifting for me. It was a lot of support all around. I realized all the love that I felt.
Relay for Life took place at Central Park on May 21st through the 22nd. This year, 124 teams and 1,527 participants have raised over $300,000.
The Relay of Life has helped me and my family because even though we had a lot of support from our friends and family, nobody really knew about cancer that much. So when we went to Relay, there's the people from the American Cancer Society, there's a bunch of different organizations there. There's not only that, it's really fun because you see other cancer patients and the survivors wearing the purple t-shirts. So it gives you that hope and support that is hard to really find.
For so many of you, this Luminaria ceremony is the reason you are here tonight. Many of you are here to remember and grieve those who have lost to cancer. Some are here to pray in honor of a survivor who has overcome the odds.
In the evening, the Luminaria ceremony takes place. This is where you walk a lap with a candle in silence of remembrance of someone you love passed away.
Brain cancer is a scary disease, and most people don't live to tell their story. Kirstens Story is here to tell her story of survival.
I'm 28 now, and it has been almost 5 years. So I am on my way to remission.
Kirstens Story, a college student, a friend who has faced the biggest battle of life, lives to tell her story.
I was 17 years old, and I was at my dad's house. And we were, just messing around, and I started having they called it a speech seizure. A CAT scan at Henry Mayo, and they told me that worst case scenario, there's definitely something there. Worst case scenario is that it's a brain tumor. They didn't think it was likely, though. And then when I got to Northridge to do a follow-up MRI, they told me that it was a brain tumor. And once they got it out, I had my surgery done at UCLA. Yeah. Once they got it out, they said it was like the size of like a small orange.
Her friends who admire her look up to her strong mindset.
Honestly, Kirsten is special to me because she's such a good friend, and whenever I see her, she's always in such a good mood, and you wouldn't even know that she's been through so much because she's just always such a ball of light, and she's just so bright, and every time I see her, it makes my day.
Kirsten is an inspiration to all of us because not only is she a survivor, but she's also a thriver. And the fact that she was able to take this traumatic experience and learn from it and continue to shed her light on everyone around her is amazing to me.
To get people to stop worrying about their trivial problems. I really want to send the message that things that you have no control over, don't stress about.
Some say it is as painful as childbirth, and others say it is even worse. Having kidney stones can be an agonizing experience, yet many people face them completely unprepared and when they least expect it. Our Josh Spacek has more on the issue.
Kidney stones. Many think they are for the middle-aged and elderly, but this is not so. Just ask Justin Marco and Taylor Enns, two 20-year-old COC students who recently suffered from the affliction.
It's hard to do everything. Like, you're just in pain all the time. It's painful to sit down, to walk around, to lay down. You're just in pain all the time, and so it's hard to focus on stuff.
According to the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Disorders, symptoms of kidney stones include pain while urinating, blood in the urine, or pain in the lower back or abdomen. Many people do not expect to get kidney stones at a younger age, but many people are also surprised when they do get them. Just ask Justin Marco.
I was only 19 at the time, which my dad has had him, but he's in his 60s. I thought kidney stones was something you hit when you're in your 40s or 50s. I was incredibly surprised to find out it was kidney stones because I thought it was appendicitis.
And Taylor acquired his kidney stones in an entirely different way as well.
I drink a lot of soda and energy drinks, and so one of the warnings they always tell you is like, oh, you might get kidney stones, and I was like, yeah, sure, probably not.
The NIDDK classifies a kidney stone as a solid piece of material that forms when there are high volumes of a substance in the urine. So if you are 50 or 20 and you start feeling any of these symptoms, seek a medical professional, as kidney stones can happen to anybody at any time.
I'd stirred it up at the gym, so I thought I'd just, tweak something, or I do sometimes. So I just sort of started stretching it out, but then it got worse and more pressure, and eventually it was almost like a stabbing.
For Cougar News, this has been Josh Spacek.
Sexual orientation has become a major point of debate recently. Some members of the LGBT community feel threatened and are seeking a safe place outside of the home. And as Sam Adonde tells us, comfort can be found right here at COC.
Many members of the LGBT society are feeling threatened due to their separate ways. Because of this, COC is now hosting a safe zone training for them to create a safe environment for themselves.
Andrew Rodriguez describes Safe Zone training and why he is now a staff member.
Safe Zone it's a training program to educate individuals about the LGBTQ plus community, as well as the different terminology that exists and the stigma that exists within the LGBTQ plus community. I started this program about a year ago, and the reason why I started this program is because I wanted to decrease stigma among the LGBTQ plus community, and my goal is to educate. That's my primary goal.
The head of this meeting, Rich Green, describes how he wants members of the LGBT society to create a safe environment for themselves.
Safe Zone is an opportunity for folks to sit down and talk about LGBTQ issues, because they've found that in campuses like COC, if we were to try to create a place where it's okay and acceptable to be outside of the heterosexual norm, that you can decrease heterosexual suicide rates by 50%. So for me, I'm not only trying to create a conversation with individuals about LGBTQ issues, I'm also trying to create a place that's safe and comfortable for individuals outside of that group.
Safe Zone training has been effective in helping the LGBT society. I'm Samuel Daniel, reporting live from Cougar News.
If you plan on applying for a classified or high security job with the federal government, you better clean up your social media. The Obama administration is hinting your past and present may have a profound effect on your future. Here's more with Justin Flores.
It's becoming a hot topic subject. Whether you agree with it or not, it's happening, and you should be more conscious about what you should post on social media and what you should not.
I interviewed Ron Entrican of our own media department to see what he had to say about social media and background checks.
Social media normally will appear, I think, in front of secure jobs. TSA comes to mind. Anything that has to do, or NSA or FBI, that type of thing. Anything that has to do with security, they're going to look at your background thoroughly. Private sector is probably, a little different in the fact that, or even government jobs that are non-security jobs. How much can you go into somebody's background, and how deep can you go?
I interviewed fellow students here at COC to see what they had to say about social media and background checks.
Personally, I don't really care if any government was to look at my background check. I mean, I don't really have anything horrific to show, so yeah.
I asked them if they were conscious about what they post, and here's what they had to say.
Because I know for myself that I wouldn't even post anything like that, because I don't need, like family and friends on my accounts most of the time. So I don't even need them to be seeing anything or like that. So it's like, why? So if I don't want them to see it, I don't want jobs to see it either. So it's like, just don't post it.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Justin Flores.
The spring semester at College of the Canyons is coming to an end, but not without acknowledging the academic accomplishment of those students who take away scholarships for the upcoming school year. This year, students were invited to the Performing Arts Center to receive 291 scholarships in a pool of over $230,000, including 91 Osher-endowed scholarships and 60 from the Associated Student Government. Though not all scholarship winners were there to give thanks on stage with a thankful cheer for donors in the audience, Tom Bulbrick, director of the Financial Aid and Scholarship Department, led the ceremony. And with the help of ASG President Dana Levine, the two announced the recipients. The scholarship application is open to students annually on the first day of the spring semester and can be found on the Canyons website under Financial Aid Scholarships. Coming up on Cougar News, feeling creative with an eye for detail, COC may have just the class for you.
Plus, it's a brutal end to every semester. Find out how to deal with final stress. Stay tuned.
The skills I use every single day were the things I learned here. So the skills, the shooting, the editing, the writing, all that stuff that I use today in the real world are still things I learned here 5 years ago.
Cougar News, creating the journalists of tomorrow, while reporting the news that's important to Santa Clarita today. Our stories pop up on your notifications.
So, who are we? We're innovators.
Utilizing technology as it evolves in our hands. We're not professionals, but we want to be. We learn from professors who have been there.
I think I know my job is done when students leave the Cougar News program, when they have a confidence.
Who know what it takes to work in the big leagues. We are
They've been very caring. They care about every single student that's in the class.
Everyone seems to be pretty friendly with each other. No one's really afraid to ask each other for help.
Working with other people, not being ornery, actually, listening to what people say, collaborating with them to create a really good product.
It's great to use the same stuff the pros use, especially at a community college.
Hopefully we give them a pathway to have their creativity showcased.
I've gotten a great education.
I love the access to equipment.
I've made lifelong friendships.
I have great teachers.
For some students, finals can be very difficult, while others have nothing to worry about. Andrew Salas got a closer look at how students feel about their exams.
As finals week approaches right around the corner, many students are beginning to feel the pressure from their classes.
Yes, a lot, especially in math. Decently enough, but I mean, finals are still, they can surprise you.
While some students are feeling the pressure, other students seem to have everything right under control.
I'm feeling pretty good about finals this year.
No, not really. I only have 2 finals I really have to take for my classes. I feel like they're going to be pretty easy.
Whether it's in-depth studying,
Usually I check my notes, go through each chapter. I usually condense it all into one piece of paper. So I'll write down all the key points that were in each chapter and write it on the piece of paper and study that piece of paper.
or a more simpler way of studying.
No, just homework, yeah. I'm not really a study type of person.
But one thing students can agree on is that finals will always be stressful. However, there are steps to take to staying calm.
Just chill out, listen to some music, take it easy, one step at a time. You don't want to be super stressed on the day because it's just going to make you fail.
Don't wait to the last minute and take advantage of the TLC tutors on campus.
As finals week approaches, students have had mixed responses as to the readiness of finals. If you are having test anxiety, take a deep breath and relax. For Cougar News, I am Andrew Solis.
Are you a person who walks into a room and immediately analyzes your surroundings? Are you drawn to color like a fly to a flame? If so, then you might want to consider a career in interior design. Rachel Dahl has more.
Are you an artistic person? Does design and beauty inspire you? For those who are looking for a career that is artistic yet has a more practical application, interior design or architecture might be the right fit for you. The design program at the College of the Canyons offers a variety of classes that can start you off to a great career and future. Dorothy Menarche is the department chair and has some great advice for students who are looking for a career in design.
For architecture, they need to have a good solid skill set in math. So the student comes, that's one of the questions I always ask them. Do you like math? Are you good at math? If they cringe and they hate it, then I might direct them to interior design. Math requirements are not nearly as stringent. But both of them are creative, very creative. Architecture is more of it's a creative field for buildings and sites, whereas interior designers or interior architects, they're really focusing on the interior of a space.
There are many competitions that students can participate in to help further their future careers as designers. A team of students from the College of the Canyons took first place at a design competition, beating out other four-year universities. The faculty at the College of the Canyons for Interior Design and Architecture is highly talented and diverse. Professor of Interior Design and Architecture John Turturro is also the designer and architect for the Breaking Bad star Bryan Cranston. He is passionate about sustainable design and how it is changing the future of how buildings are made.
This project, Three Palms project, was the feather in my hat as far as green building and design. And all my career, spanning over 30 years, I have moved towards sustainable and green design and wanted a project like this that was high profile, showcased green systems, materials, and technologies, and was educational as well.
Interior design is a growing field with many opportunities for creative expression. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Rachel Dahl.
The IKEA store in Burbank is getting a major overhaul that is coming next spring. The upgrades to the new store has customers buzzing with excitement. Taylor Enns has more.
At nearly 25 years old, the IKEA home furnishing store in Burbank is the chain's oldest location in the western United States. So company and city officials joined forces to break ground on a larger replacement store. The future 456,000 square foot new IKEA Burbank store, including 1,700 parking spaces, is being built on 22 acres west of San Fernando Boulevard and south of Providencia Avenue. The new store will include 50 room setting displays, 3 model home interiors, a supervised children's play area, and a 600-seat restaurant. It will also have a children's area in the showroom, baby care rooms, and play areas throughout the whole store.
I've heard that it's going to be, I think, like the biggest in the nation or something. It's not too far from here, the location, but when they were building it was just a giant hole in the ground, so it's going to be a huge project.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it is. I do live close to the one in Burbank, so it's already big within itself, so just the fact that it's going to get bigger makes it seem a lot crazy.
Burbank's IKEA is one of the oldest on the West Coast, but this spring, 2017, it's moving less than a mile away while also getting a huge upgrade that has lots of students excited.
Wow, that's refreshing to hear because around here parking spots are very hard to find, so hopefully 2,000 will be enough for that.
Yeah, I think so. I know the one right now in Burbank hardly has any parking, and it's next to the mall, so it's always packed. So having IKEA with 2,000 parking spots or over 2,000 would help a lot.
What is particularly sad about lemon cake? If you read Amy Bender's novels, you would know. The author herself came to College of the Canyons on May 18th. Here's Ethan Law with more.
On Wednesday, May 18th, the Celebrating the Humanities program at College of the Canyons hosted their final event for the spring semester. American novelist and short story writer Amy Bender came to Mentry Hall to read an excerpt of her book, The Color Master. Known for her surreal plots and characters, all 5 of Bender's novels have been critically acclaimed and have either won awards or have been nominated. Following the reading, Bender met with students to sign books and offer advice on how to become a better writer.
For young writers, I would say just to try to get more involved in the work and to do what you can to make it work that you feel proud of, that connects to you in some way, that isn't distant from you, that isn't a performance of something that isn't you, but something that really feels like it comes from you. And that's not so easy to figure out. So to really experiment and try a bunch of things and to really feel like fiction or poetry or whatever has a lot of space for a lot of kinds of writing. So to not restrict it. People restrict it a lot.
I got the chance to meet with one of the students that talked to Amy Bender afterwards.
I talked to her about how I can improve as a screenwriter, and she also gave me advice on how to create more innovative stories without being so redundant. Overall, she was very helpful to me and my career.
In addition to being a novelist, Amy Bender is a creative writing professor at the University of Southern California. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Ethan Lau.
This year, we have lost many musical legends, including Prince and David Bowie. But now we have lost a television legend. Betty Varela has more.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course, that is, of course.
96-year-old Alan Young died peacefully last week in his home. When I was a kid, I used to love to watch Mr. Ed, the show of the talking horse. It was a program I looked forward to watching because it was funny, and it was a horse that talked, and no one knew that he talked except Wilbur, his owner. So Mr. Ed was always getting Wilbur into trouble because he would pretend he was Wilbur, and then he would either talk on the phone or say something funny or rude, and then Wilbur would be the one to pay the price for it. Alan Young played Wilbur Post, who was the talking horse owner in the show that ran from 1961 to 1966.
Just doing this to get attention, like a jealous child.
Well, you spent the whole morning brushing her and feeding her and playing with her. What am I, a stiff horse?
It was one of the few shows that Mom would let us watch because it was, wholesome. And, it's just sad that these old actors and TV shows have long been gone, and in their place other shows that our children can never match to the real sincere comedy of the old golden age of television.
For Cougar News, I'm Betty Varela.
They say some dance to remember and some dance to forget. The dance department came together to remember music icons through dance. Here's Lisa Okafor with more.
After a long semester of hard work, the dance company and Audio Mind dance crew got to show their finished product at their spring concert, Dancing to the Icons.
Dancing is kind of like, for me it's just expression, because it's kind of hard for me to put what I feel into words, so I just kind of put it into my performances. But it's really helped me grow as a person, I've noticed.
It was lots of fun. You know how people would draw or they play music. For me, it's dancing rather. So it helps a lot. Nerve-wracking at first. My brother Christian, he actually introduced me into dancing, and then around the beginning of this semester, he introduced me to Audio Mind, and then I got in from there.
The dance program at COC introduces students to various forms and styles of concert and social dance. and also provides students with concert performing opportunities like this one.
Art is a form of expression to some, but to one Saugus resident, art has become his life. Alec Roubaix has the story.
My name is Ian Daningle. I am 24. I was born July 6, 1991. I grew up in a cow town called Acton. It's in between Santa Clarita and Palmdale, Lancaster. When I was younger, it was just writing first, and then the older I got, it was more pictures, videos, and then I met a buddy of mine named Drew, and we started this thing. We collaborated. We want to end up doing like magazines, short films, videos, books, basically everything. That's what I'm talking about right now. Lemons is basically a collaboration between him and me, and it's basically to just inspire people to not be a lemon, but be a lemon at the same time. Like the cliche saying, when life gives you lemons, what are you going to do with it? And our thing is you just squeeze the life out of it. Just get all that you can. The typewriter, unlike the computer, is like, you can mess up and you can't go back and hit delete. So you kind of just have to keep going. It's like a free write back in school when they just had you write for 10 minutes and try not to lift your pen off the piece of paper. Like, you just keep going. It's basically the same thing. Don't quit. So just keep doing what you're doing. You can either keep it on the download so you're ready, or you can put it all out on social media and let people see your stuff from start to finish, the good or the bad to the good, and just see your progression.
As Ian Ingle has showed us today, Santa Clarita is filled with all types of artistic potential. I'm Alec Roubaix reporting for
COC's latest literary magazine is about to hit the shelves, and no better way to kick off the new release with a party. Tim Strong tells us more.
COC's own literary magazine, The Cul-de-Sac, held the release party for their 9th edition, where several students shared their work.
Still a holy man? Sinners, healers, liars, and saviors? Is there no conflict of interest?
The publication accepts many types of work, including fiction, poetry, and photography. The magazine was received well by many, including COC professor Andy McCutcheon.
There's a certain kind of poetry, if you will, to how this all comes together and harmonizes and becomes something more than the sum of its parts. And I think that's really cool. And I think that's what a good, lit and art magazine does.
Creating the magazine is a year-long process, but Professor Aline Tiersen showed clear pride in her students' work.
This together is a labor of love. So there are some ups and downs, and of course mistakes are made and things change, but in the end we have produced something I think we're all very proud of, we're happy to be a part of, and we hope to continue its success in the future.
Being an editor can be a daunting task, but to Kathleen Etheridge, experience was priceless.
Invaluable. It's amazing. Yeah. I have no words. I don't know. It's been amazing.
Interested in writing for the cul-de-sac? It is actually a class offered here at COC.
The class is every spring. It's English 122, and we do the magazine once a year, and we will basically inundate the campus with all kinds of information about it, flyers, and it's all over our website, and it will be all over the TVs. So stay tuned next year.
Readers and writers should both be on the lookout next spring, as the cul-de-sac will be releasing their 10th edition. For Cougar News, I'm Tim Strong.
Finally, while the end of the year includes finals, it also gives students a chance to showcase what they've been working on all semester. With more, here's Lorena Ponce de Leon.
At Dr. Diane G. Van Hook University Center, the Chancellor's Cabaret series presents a jazz and house blend performance called They Say It's Spring, directed by College of the Canyon's own Julie Lawson. The performance does not only include student singers, but they also have a celloist, a drummer, and a pianist, who regularly performs with them in showcasings. After the showing, we got to hear how students felt about their own performances and how they feel on stage.
I thought it was great. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I've never had, as much confidence, I guess.
From the crowd's perspective, we were doing our part of, entertaining them.
I thought it went awesome. A lot of the groups sounded really good. All the soloists were amazing. There's a lot of unity there and tons of energy, so it was awesome.
This will be the last night for many of these students performing at COC, but it's definitely not their last. This is Lorena reporting for Cougar News.
That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Erika Cheever. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Tiese White. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, COC_Cougar News. Be sure to check us out when we return this fall. Have a great summer, everyone.